Hi, what if I was to tell you NASA's just launched a rocket to space? You might think, Scott, it's NASA. That's what they do. And what's that got to do with my own training? Let me tell you, this mission is so incredibly special. This mission is taken off at a time when the world is full of news of riots in Minnesota. We've got COVID disasters all over the world. But in behind all that, this incredible story of exploration to push boundaries. As a coach, these boundaries are always areas I'm looking to push, and how I'm trying to share with athletes how you can find a way to progress. So what's so special about this mission? On this spaceship, there are two guys. One's aged 49 and the other's aged 53. I'll say it again, 49 and 53. In fact, this story is so incredible, I'm not even going to tell you their names. I want you to drop them in the comments. Don't Google it. I want you to see if you can see it on the news, or you might even know it. I want you to put their names in there. It's super important because this story is going to blow your mind. So these guys are friends. They've actually been friends for 20 years. So you might think, well, they've probably been astronauts all their days. They've been to space 2 times before. You know, how long does it take to be an astronaut? What is the level of fitness? It must be harder being a Tour de France cyclist, Scott, than it is going to space. You're looking at a minimum. Let's not use school years, okay? So let's start the journey. You've gone through school, you've gone through high school. You've got to have your honours degree. Let's take 3 or 4 years to get that. Then you've got to have 3 years minimum professional experience, or what they call the 1,000 hours of command pilot time. Then you can get lucky, you get through, you're skilled enough, you have a good interview, you get into NASA's basic training, you've got another 2 years. So you're looking at anywhere between 8, maybe 10 years to be a rookie. To be a rookie in your area. And then even as a rookie, you develop day in, week out. You might never get a seat on a ship. Now let's face it, I told you America hasn't launched anything since 2011. Now, they've been using the Soyuz program in Russia to send astronauts into space. Do you know how much a ticket on that costs? $80 million. Now, they do give you a return. You do get back, but $80 million. So NASA opened up to the private sector, and Elon Musk, you probably know him from Tesla, or the guy who named his kid after a password for your computer. But 2017 they were supposed to go up. Same 2 guys. Didn't happen. In fact, 27th of May they were supposed to go up. At the last minute, cancelled. Had to wait again. 30th of May, boom, up they go. 17,000 miles an hour. A 19-hour journey. Even when they get to the space station, they've just got to sit and wait. They've got to let technology take over as it docks. Now, the Dragon ship that they're on will bring them back, drop them in the Atlantic, and it'll be reused. You know, America hasn't been able to reuse things since the space shuttle program. That was 40 years ago since that first one went up. So you follow that story, you know that with great exploration comes great risk. In fact, comes extreme risk of death. So what is it about these guys? What is it about people who want to push the barriers, the boundaries, that makes them stand out? You know, most of us look at space and we think, wow, I wonder what it's like. It's something for movies. We haven't got that mindset to take us to the point, I'm going to be the one that goes there. You know, as a kid growing up, I'll share a story with you. As a kid growing up, I was fascinated by Sir Edmund Hillary. He's a guy who went to the top of Mount Everest. I wanted to know everything about him, what it was as he was a young boy. How did he get fascinated with mountains? I loved exploring. I got into so much trouble trying to just disappear what was on the other side of the hill, not at the top of it, what was at the end of the woods, you know, trying to explore and discover things. And I was fascinated by Hillary, and I was fascinated by his appetite to keep going. When he stood at the top of Mount Everest, and I'll be polite on the video, he turned to relieve himself and have a little pee-pee. He saw a path up another mountain that hadn't been conquered, already thinking. Now that type of strategy, what I call the exit strategy from a goal, this is common in athletes and I use it a lot. Here's the goal, where are we going to go after? This sense of anticlimax for a lot of athletes who work so hard for something. can be overwhelming. So you're always looking to build in that exit strategy. And I think, what's it like going to space? You know, what else can top that? Let's look at their training. Okay, so let's look at these guys. What do they have to go through? So I've told you 8 years. 8 years to get to be a rookie at the best. They do a session, right? 6 hour run. 6 hours. And they wear a £300 suit to try and simulate the spacewalk. That's twice the weight of me. And remember, 49 and 53 years old. Yeah, 49 and 53. I speak to guys and women at that sort of age a lot. Oh, I haven't got the time. I haven't got the energy. You haven't got the desire. Because if these guys can do it, what is it about them? Their levels of vigour, their levels of motivation that push daily. So they get into the ship, 19-hour journey. They'll dock at the International Space Station. What have they got to do, Scott? You say about the training they've got to do daily. 2.5 hours minimum daily to maintain the level of fitness they had before they took off. Because if they don't, returning to Earth, you know, they could end up 6 months before they're actually strong enough to walk about due to the gravity, the non-gravity effect on their muscle strength. Think of being sort of in hospital, in bed, and have like a body plaster cast on for 16 weeks and then getting up and saying, okay, you can go home now, Scott. You'd be walking out the hospital like a jelly. You wouldn't be able to move. But that's what they do, and they break it up into what we would do as athletes. The training, the specific types of training, is not dissimilar to an elite athlete, but what we've got is the treadmill run. So they run a series of 800 and 1500 metre intervals that they do on board the ship on their treadmill. The bike is brutal. They describe it as the hardest spin session ever. It's got no saddle. So they stand up. And we know that when we're standing up, we're recruiting larger muscle groups. The fatigue kicks in, but they do HIIT program for 2 to 3 sessions a week, and they do a longer endurance one, 2 hours on this bike, 2 hours to maintain that high VO2 that they've got. Now you can Google and you can research various VO2s that they've got. Now a lot of astronauts who are older, the VO2 may not be at the level of, say, a Tour de France rider, but it's extremely high because that aerobic capacity needed to carry out work. Remember, they're doing 12-hour shifts in the most extremely demanding, technical, dangerous environments ever known. Now, they do a special type of exercise whereby they do their strength work because we know that they've got to cause resistance through the muscles because lack of gravity is going to cause muscle wastage. So they have a system, they call it the ARED system. It's a resistive machine that uses a vacuum system whereby the pulleys and cables can be controlled with the vacuum to give that resistance. Give a resistance up to about 600 pounds, so like a squat rack, bench press, and they'll add that into their daily program. Extremely fit, but it's the mindset. It's the mindset of being able to deliver. So I'll speak with a lot of athletes and they talk about, oh, I'll do a 10-week program, my events in 10 weeks. I'll do 12 weeks. These guys have been training for years, day in, day out, not knowing exactly when their event might be. They've got particular dates, but they rarely happen. Now, here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. Okay, absolutely. They don't know when they're coming back. In fact, they've set a window of 6 weeks to 16 weeks. They don't know. So they've got to carry on their duties day in, day out. This is described as a test for more missions to come. In fact, they want to obviously send what they call normal people, people that can buy a ticket and go up to space. In fact, Elon Musk's company is actually building the Starship. Even the name suggests something phenomenal. The Starship's going to go to the moon. It's going to go to Mars. Can you imagine that? Now that is exploration at the upper end. So why am I so fascinated with exploration and linking it to coaching? It's because so many of us, we end up with this pigeon box, this little boxed in behavioural routines. We do the same and we get the same. We don't venture beyond because we're scared. I don't train any different because this is what I've always done. We don't want to explore new things because we're petrified that it won't get the results. But yet you don't actually return any new results year in, year out, so you don't change. Our behaviour becomes conformed to comfort, to easy. Think about it. What were you like on your first date at a new job? How excited were you? How passionate were you to make a good impression? And then that wears off. You know, you maybe been married 5 years, 10 years, you've forgotten your wedding anniversary. In fact, you've even forgotten one of the kids' birthdays once. We lose that. And that exploration and training goes as well. You just go through the motions. Hey, I ask you now, if you're watching this video, I ask you now, when was the last time you went out on your bike and you went on a new road? Hey, put a comment in if you haven't done that in the last month. No, you hit a new road, brand new to you, took photographs, you actually felt that. This is why I train. Those people that can understand the why, their motivation lasts a lifetime. Astronauts have a motivation for a lifetime, an absolute lifetime, and they give back so much. You know, I listen to documentaries and interviews with so many astronauts that have been to space, fascinated by their mindset, about what they see, how simple the world looks from up there, and how it makes them appreciate everything they've got. Hey, I say to you now as well, if you've got the ability, okay, to get on a bike, if you've got the physical fitness, the health, and the means to explore, you're one of the luckiest people in the world. You can go out there and explore. You can push your physical barriers, but you need to push your mindset as well. You need to go beyond what you think you're capable of. Okay? So next time you're out training, I want you looking up to the skies and I want you thinking, what am I capable of? Hey, I could talk all day about exploration. I love it. I love the idea of just pushing those boundaries. World records. Usain Bolt, does anybody think his 100 metre record will be broken? The hour record in cycling, it will be broken. It will be broken again. In fact, the person that's broken, I always have these fascinating thoughts. You know, are they a kid right now? Are they dreaming about it? Are they Googling what the record is right now, thinking to themselves, I could beat that? Are they watching YouTube videos of Usain Bolt? I could be that. I could beat that. They're there to be broken. And everybody has got a barrier. Now, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not asking you to be a superstar, not asking you to go to space, but there's a barrier holding you back right now. Think about all these people who've gone over that barrier and what they've achieved. You can do it. Okay, I need you exploring, and I need you exploring in the next video where you'll see me give you more great fitness tips, mindset tips, nutrition tips. Blow your mind. You stay safe and stay active.